Green Lake is an incredible natural resource. It is the heart of our community, our families, and our economy. Whether you were born here, grew up visiting, or are new to its shores, Green Lake brings all of us together.
It was 1991 when we stopped in Green Lake to take a peek and see what it was like. So it's been a long time.
I moved here in 1994. Came right out of college and took a job at a real estate company in town.
My first time on the lake was 2012. Came with some friends and never wanted to leave. Came back and moved here in about 2014.
Having grown up in Ripon and then my husband in Green Lake, we spent a lot of time when we were younger on the lake. My parents used to rent a cottage for the summer on the west side of the lake. And in 2005, we moved back to Green Lake, and Green Lake has just become an integral part of our family life, boating and being on the lake every chance we can get.
We rely on this gem of a lake for serenity at sunset, making family memories, splashing in the summer heat, fishing in the icy winter months, and so much more. Yet this beloved lake is showing warning signs that we must quickly address. Thanks to research efforts from the GLA and local lake partners, we know its water quality is declining.
When we came here 32 years ago, there were no zebra mussels. The duckweed was not as prevalent as it is today. And we didn't have the carp kill that we had 7 or 8 years ago. So we definitely noticed a change within the last 10 to 15 years.
The algae floating on the water, we never used to see that back in the 90s.
Maybe it was 2015 where I had a prospective buyer inform me Green Lake is on the Wisconsin Impaired Waters list. And talk about being lost for words. And that's when I really took a step back and I'm like, things are changing here. And very quickly thereafter was the time frame I volunteered to be on the board of directors and give my time and our resources. We got to do something. The GLA is where it's at.
In recent decades, federal and state governments have tried to implement regulations statewide to improve the water quality of Wisconsin's lakes. But it's not enough. These regulations are not slowing the degradation of our water bodies fast enough to offset the severe impacts of humans and climate change. It is up to us to make progress toward a cleaner Green Lake. The health of Green Lake is critical to the health of our community. In 2022, Green Lake County saw a huge boost in tourism, second only to Dane County in the entire state of Wisconsin. We cannot ignore the fact that the lake is the driving force behind our local economy. If the water quality of our lake declines, our communities will feel that negative impact as well.
As a business owner, even being in Ripon, we see the effects of the summer and the tourists coming up to Green Lake, but also the people that live on the lake. We have a lot of very steady customers that live on the lake in the summer, but maybe live in Illinois. We see them walking down the street. We see them shopping in our shops. So it's pretty huge for us, and we see that effect every day almost.
The lake is the number one draw to this region. And if we have an unhealthy lake, it will affect everyone economically, from property values to businesses suffering.
This is our number one cause. Without the lake, none of it matters.
Yep, none of it matters.
I mean, we have been a resort community since the 1800s. It is our biggest resource for this entire area.
The GLA is committed to science-backed strategies that aim to restore its water quality to what it once was. Our approach is based on recent research from federal and state agencies, universities, and independent scientists, all of which confirm that Green Lake's number one problem is phosphorus. Phosphorus pollution is invisible, but its abundance fuels some very visible lake issues: excessive weed growth, stringy filamentous algae, duckweed mats, and in some lakes, when it becomes significant enough, harmful blue-green algae blooms. But here in Green Lake, we believe there is hope. Together, we can get ahead of the worst of these issues, but the time to act is now. We must intervene in a significant way before it's too late.
These are man-made problems that are happening to lakes all over. Man's done this, our past sins, but I believe man can also fix this. Step in GLA, it's something we all need to be part of and involved in.
Improving the phosphorus problem will be expensive. It will require support from government at all levels, but local philanthropy is a critical component of our resource need.
All of us in this community have a lot invested in this lake. We want the GLA to succeed, but that affects everything. It affects business, our property values, and the GLA, they are the tip of the spear in the battle to try to save this lake.
Achieving a restored Green Lake will be an ambitious, expensive, and long-term effort, but the lake's recovery can start today. With each new technique implemented, with each pound of phosphorus removed from the lake, and with each dollar invested. For the first time in our organization's history, we have a research-based understanding of our lake that will allow us to move forward with an appropriately scaled, ambitious first step to change the lake's future. The opportunity before us, comprised of best practices and bold innovation, will build a bridge to a new future aimed at positively affecting the lake for today's lakegoers and for generations to come.
Our daughters grew up on this lake. Our grandson is starting to grow up on this lake. So I think we will leave a legacy and hopefully a clean lake that's similar to the condition it was in when we came here 32 years ago.
If we love this lake, it's our duty, it's our obligation. What do I want in 50 years? I want the lake to go back to what it was.
What grandparents and great-grandparents talk about and how they remember the lake, we want the kids now to be able to say the same things.
I would love to see my kids, my grandkids, all of them loving it as much as we do. And I think we've instilled that in our kids. The first thing they do is hop on the wave runner or they go fishing. And I want to see that continue for many generations because it's a true asset to our area. I'm glad I'm part of the solution, supporting the Green Lake Association, that they are moving forward and coming up with ideas to make our lake better.
By protecting the lake, we protect our local economy, our property investments, our traditions, and the heart of our community, our beloved Green Lake.
This is our home, and it's close to our heart, and we plan on growing old here, so we're not going anyplace. We're going to help fight the fight with the GLA. As long as it takes and as much as it takes, we're going to be there.